Each of us have faced more challenges than we could have imagined. Yet here we are, back where this all began, back to the Oneha now, the birth sands of IRONMAN. We are stronger when we stand together.
October, on the Big Island of Hawaii. It is an annual homecoming for triathletes from all around the world. Generations have been called here for more than 4 decades to test the limits of body, mind, and spirit. Here on the shores of Kailua Kona, we achieve together what we cannot attain alone. Shoulder to shoulder, stride for stride, we dig deeper, push harder, and dare more boldly. Only together can we unlock the true potential of the individual. The stage is set for another battle among the world's best, who will face not only one another in the barren lava fields, but also the notorious elements at the Ironman World Championship.
I think this course is arguably the most brutal course that there is. That's why it is the World Championship course.
Everyone is ready to race, and everyone brings their A game to this race.
You have heat, humidity, wind, you have a stacked field.
The course in Kona is the ultimate challenge. It's the hottest single-day event in the world of sports.
It's mythical, and I've always wanted to win this race and really nothing else.
Of course, we have triathlon in the Olympics, but for me, Kona is it.
Me o ko kavelina o ke aloha. Welcome to the 2022 VinFast Ironman World Championship, where together anything is possible.
It is pre-dawn at the 45th edition of the Ironman World Championship. And already, it is a momentous day.
Ready to get in that water.
For the first time in event history, the World Championship will be contested over 2 days, with the women taking center stage first. 42 female professionals and 2,500 age groupers will help write this historic chapter in both triathlon and women's sports.
I just want to embrace the whole day.
The significance of this moment is not lost on the competitors just starting their race day. As the athletes make their way through body marking, a celebrated Kona ritual, the early morning energy is always electric and only builds toward this highly anticipated race start.
007, special agent job today.
And now with the race separated over 2 days, the spotlight can shine more widely on these world-class athletes who have battled to earn a coveted qualifying spot on this iconic start line. Both fields are studded with proven Kona veterans, dark horses, and hungry rookies. Switzerland's Daniela Ryf earned her 5th Ironman World title earlier this year at the 2021 Ironman World Championship in St. George, Utah. After a simply untouchable performance there, she is a strong race favorite. But Annie Haug of Germany is the defending champion from the last time the Ironman World Championship was held in Kona back in 2019. She has finished on the podium at the last 3 Ironman World Championships. Fellow German Laura Philipp is also here. She recorded the fastest ever women's time at an Ironman event earlier this year when she was crowned the Ironman European champion. And Lucy Charles Barclay of Great Britain has finished as the runner-up in her last 3 battles here on the Big Island. After being sidelined by injury, she is more motivated than ever. And a handful of Kona rookies, led by American Skye Moench and Chelsea Sodaro, are here to prove that while experience matters, so does sheer drive. On the men's side, the Norwegians have stormed onto the long course scene. Christian Blumenfeld is the reigning Ironman world champion. Gustav Iden, the reigning Ironman 70.3 world champion. Blumenfeld is the only athlete to hold both the Olympic gold medal and the Ironman World Championship title in the same calendar year. Now, he has the opportunity to win back-to-back Ironman World Championships. Eden is perhaps the biggest threat to that ambition. But this is hardly a two-man race. Canada's Lionel Sanders finished second at the 2021 Ironman World Championship, and he has the advantage of experience in the Kona lava fields. And you can never count out past champions. Germans Patrick Lange and Sebastian Kienle have both returned in peak form, with Kienle racing his final World Championship. American Timothy O'Donnell, who finished second here in 2019, is back in action after recovery from a heart attack. And leading a contingent of young talent looking to make a statement in their Kona debuts, Sam Laidlow of France and Denmark's Magnus Ditlev.
Just hoping for an epic showdown between all the great athletes that are here.
We're all out there battling, and whether we're battling each other, battling the conditions, or our own minds, yeah, we're in this together.
This is the one time of the year in long distance triathlon where the best get to race the best when they know they need to be at their best.
It's just such a difficult race, and it's so difficult for people to understand their limits and how to ride that in these conditions.
It has been a long 3 years since the start cannon has fired over Kailua Bay. A multitude of emotions ripples through the pro women's field in the final moments before the swim start. With the world watching on, all the preparation of both body and mind has led to this moment. The 2022 VinFast Ironman World Championship is officially underway. Then the professional men get their turn. The seasoned veteran and Kona rookie alike can both appreciate how tense, how long these final minutes before the start can feel. And then the waiting is finally over. What has always made the Ironman World Championship distinct and special is the experience for the amateur athletes who share the race course with the professionals. Everyday people taking on an extraordinary challenge. Among them, Sebastian Bellin. He wants to show others that with the right mindset, any challenge can be hurdled. At 78 years old, Cherie Grunfeld is the oldest competitor in this year's women's field. And then there is Chris Nikic, His journey toward broader inclusion and full independence continues. But what powers each athlete through this 2.4-mile swim, 112-mile ride, and 26.2-mile run is deeply personal and unique to each athlete. While each racer brings their own story and purpose, all 5,000 athletes share one common trait: a certain curiosity. What will you learn when you tread willingly to the very edge of perceived limits and push still further into the unknown? The answer is out there for each and every one of them.
And they may well ask, why climb the highest mountain? We choose to do things not because they are easy, but because they are hard. Because that goal will serve to organize and measure the best of our energies and skills. Because that challenge is one that we're willing to accept, one we are unwilling to postpone, and one we intend to win.
The 2022 VinFast Ironman World Championship is brought to you by VinFast, Boundless Together, Hoka, Fly Human Fly, Gatorade Endurance, formulated for farther, and Hyperice, recover like a pro. In the women's race, the three-time Kona runner-up Lucy Charles Barclay has wasted no time distancing herself from the rest of the field in the opening meters of the 2.4-mile Roka swim course. While everyone expects her to be at the front, it is a surprise to see her swimming totally alone.
I always want to establish as much as a lead as possible. In years before, I've obviously swam with the likes of Lauren Brandon. I know she's a super strong swimmer, so I kind of anticipated that it would either be me and Lauren and maybe a small group. I didn't actually anticipate to break away from the other strong swimmers.
Navigating the chop and swell, American Lauren Brandon leads a chase pack that includes Rebecca Clark from Australia and Fenella Langridge of Great Britain. And a couple of minutes behind them, another group containing Americans Chelsea Sodaro, Haley Chura, Sarah True, and Norway's Lisa Norden, the Olympic silver medalist from 2012, has formed. Day 2, the men's race. Germany's Florian Angert and Sam Lalo are setting the early swim pace at the front. Unlike the women's race, there has been very little separation of the field. Not even the strongest swimmers, the likes of Australian Josh Amberger, Kiwi Braden Curry, and Daniel Bekkegaard of Denmark, have been able to shake the Norwegians from the lead group.
I noticed there was about 30 guys with me, and I saw Christian Blumenfeld. Actually, that was the only tri-suit I spotted, and I was like, oh damn.
Halfway through, when we were rounding the boats, that's maybe when I felt like, okay, I'm pretty safe to be in the first pack.
I had no idea where I was in the swim, so I just following the feet in front of me and tried to pace out of effort.
Charles Barkley from the UK.
Lucy Charles Barkley is the first out of the water in 50 minutes, 57 seconds. But trailing just 45 seconds behind are Lauren Brandon, Rebecca Clark, Pamela Oliveira, and Fenella Language. Next into transition 3 minutes later, a large group that includes Chura, Macaulay, Norden, Sidaro, Monch, and Sarah Crowley. Daniela Reef exits Kailua Bay nearly 7 minutes down as part of another pack that contains Laura Phillip and Annie Haug, 3 of the top seeds.
When I found out I had like a 7-minute lead over the likes of Daniela, I was like, oh, that's a pretty good start. I think things are going pretty much to plan.
But the 5-time Ironman world champion Reef has plans of her own for the 112-mile Volgaz bike course. The hunt for the front is on. Ongert and Laidlow are the first into transition with a 48-minute swim. But they are shadowed by a massive group that includes Blumenfeld, Eden, Timothy O'Donnell, and Australia's Max Newman. Just a minute and a half separates the top 20 men as they prepare to head out onto the bike course. And about 5 minutes down from the leaders, the formidable pack of Joe Skipper, Sebastian Kienle, Lionel Sanders, and Cameron Worth, the Kona bike course record holder. The leaders are no doubt anticipating the imminent arrival of these cycling powerhouses to the front of the race. It's time to get to work. Meanwhile, the age group athletes are conquering the first leg of the 2022 VinFast Ironman World Championship. For many, today's race is more than an athletic challenge. It is a proving ground for what is possible when you question perceived limits. Only you, the athlete, get to decide what you are truly capable of achieving on the day. 2.4-mile swim, check. "22-year-old Chris Nikic is here in Kona to show the world that he's not done defying expectations. As the first person with Down syndrome to complete an Ironman, Chris is the very embodiment of the phrase, anything is possible.
My name is Chris Nikic, and I'm an Ironman. Here he comes! Chris Nikic,
I got a little boost for you. We have a follow-up to the story of Chris Nikic.
Chris Nikic. Chris Nikic.
Chris Nikic.
Chris Nikic.
A 21-year-old from Maitland.
Raced for 17 hours to cross this finish line.
Thousands of people all around the world had their eyes glued to the Ironman finish line live stream last night.
So immediately after Chris finished Ironman Florida, we started getting hundreds and literally thousands of connections through social media. Families, parents, siblings of others with special needs. The comments were life-changing from the perspective that most people started to see possibilities that they never saw before.
Hard work pays off.
We are all proud of you, Chris, the Ironman.
Oh my gosh.
Wow. Anything is possible.
After Ironman Florida, I got some response. It pure make me feel like a freaking rock star. But when I read other comments on social media from moms and dads, it makes me feel like an inspiration to the kids. So I must keep going.
Probably around the 5-month stage, I had an ultrasound done and there were some soft signs, whitish spots around the heart, and the doctor said that would indicate that perhaps I'd have a Down syndrome child. We thought, however this baby is going to come into the world, we're going to love this baby and provide whatever for this child to have a happy, meaningful life.
Soon after Patty delivered a 5-pound, 8-ounce boy, hospital blood tests confirmed Chris had Down syndrome, a genetic condition in which an extra copy of chromosome 21 causes physical and intellectual developmental delays.
Patty dedicated herself full-time to helping him. You know, he couldn't feed himself for the first 5 years, talking, you know, standing. Schools, 7 schools in 6 years because nobody had a place for him. The students, rejected him, right? He wasn't included because he was different. What people didn't realize was there was something going on underneath that was building, that was preparing him for something much bigger.
1, 3, and that's it. I'm going to cover stretching, taking a nap, and that's the end of the day. Thank you. Cut, wrap.
Hey, please do not text to me. I'm trying to get it. Working to become the best of me. I'm doing my job. That includes whipping and keeping it.
Chris has a great group of people that are supporting him. So not only his guy, Dan, who comes in, day out and pushes Chris, but myself, Tracy, Marquise, his girlfriend, Adrian. So he has this core group of people that are always willing to come out, to do workouts with him, to push him that extra mile, to finish strong. So I'm super pumped to be able to see what he can do at Kona because he has been working every single day towards this goal.
Chris has physically and emotionally and cognitively developed in ways that we never thought were possible.
He's doing things independently like he could never do before, and that is because the Ironman has opened up his brain to more that's possible for him.
We think he's ready, but when you get the combination of the downhills, the heat, the wind conditions, there's always a concern.
Well, if he can do an Ironman World Championship race with all the adversity that it's going to throw at him, there's no reason why he can't have anything he wants in life.
I keep pushing through because I know my friends are watching me. And I know AJ will be the first time in for a hug and a kiss.
With each pedal stroke, Chris Nikic pushes further into uncharted territory. These miles in the lava fields will test him like nothing he's ever experienced.
Since 1997, we have imagined the exceptional. From our very first flight to opening the world's best airport, Hamad International Airport, to delivering unforgettable experiences on board. You're the reason we go above and beyond. The reason we've become the world's best airline a record 6 times. All this in just 25 years. Imagine what the next 25 will bring. Qatar Airways, 25 years of excellence.
Queen Kaahumanu Highway. It's a defining part of the Ironman World Championship course for good reason. The Queen K is exposed, barren, hot.
There's just like long, straight, you can see the horizon, you see like the heat like bubbles over the road, and I think that is very, very hard.
It's pretty desolate out there and you have to just be strong in your own mind.
Day one, the women's race. Lucy Charles-Barkley and Fenella Langridge lead the pro women's field as they make their way toward the harbor town of Kauai. 3 minutes back, a chase pack that contains Lisa Norden, Jocelyn McCauley, and the two Americans Sky Moch and Chelsea Sodaro. And 2 minutes behind them, the triple threat of Laura Philipp, Daniela Reef, and Annie Haug.
I saw Daniela and I saw Laura Philipp and I thought, oh, that's maybe one of the strongest bike riders in the field. I thought, wow, that would be a really tough bike ride, but I wanted to take a risk.
Back in the pro men's race, Francis Sam Laidlow and Australian Max Newman lead the charge along the Queen Kaahumanu Highway. A minute behind them, Florian Angert is at the front of the chase group, which includes Magnus Detlef, Christian Blumenfeld, Timothy O'Donnell, and Gustav Iden. Cameron Worth, Joe Skipper, and Sebastian Kinley are together about 4.5 minutes back. A solo Lionel Sanders is 7 minutes from the front. Is it not his day, or is he just exercising patience? The Kona veterans know how easy it is to get carried away and blow up on this ride.
There's going to be swimmer bikers who destroy the bike and also destroy themselves and their chance at a good finish.
You're getting too aggressive on the bike, you're pushing it too early on the bike. You can really struggle on the way home, and then that just makes for a long day running.
Racing his 10th Ironman World Championship today, Timothy O'Donnell knows how to execute a podium performance on the Big Island. The 2019 runner-up was a main driver at the front of the ride the last time he raced here. The fact that he is back in the mix at 42 years old isn't just impressive, it's nothing short of miraculous.
I started to have some really weird pains. A shooting pain down my left arm, and my jaw started to lock up. And I knew this wasn't normal race pains. This was a little different. Being the competitive athlete I am and the guy that never wants to give up, I was reluctant to just stop. But then I thought, there's no way I'm pushing 300 plus watts if I'm having a heart attack right now. A few hours later, I was on the operating table and they were clearing a 80+% block of my LAD, the artery in your heart. This particular block is often known as the widowmaker. The chance of survival, I believe, is like 10 or 12%. There was only one point in that whole experience where the thought came into my head, are you going to die? And at that point, I thought of my family. And I said, nope, not today.
Thought of him not having a dad. It's hard.
It's just such a crazy time, you know, newborn baby, 3.5-year-old, and one of the fittest men on the planet. We all feel invincible when, you know, you're fit and healthy, and has just basically, you know, been brought to his knees with a heart attack in seconds. Like, everything changed. We really just took a minute to take a breath and appreciate what we have.
Getting back to training was one of the more difficult things I had to do, honestly, after the heart attack. At some point, I would kind of question, why am I out here doing this? You're scared to push your body. You're scared to go out and train by yourself. You can't out-fitness your genes. And no matter how fit I was, this was going to happen to me. Just because you're super fit doesn't mean this can't happen to you. And we have to pay attention to the signs and symptoms, and we have to pay attention to our family history.
As he attacked his racing career and triathlon career, he attacked his recovery, seeking out the professionals and leaving no stone unturned. Time and time again, he would come back and another specialist would say, no, you're good, you're fine. The more confident we became in having him go back to racing. And I think for closure for him, he needs to go and race.
At 38 and 39 years old, I had my two best performances in Kona. So I was on an upward trajectory, and I didn't want to leave it like that. Let's go out on your own terms. Nothing excites me in this sport like getting ready for Kona. I love the build-up, I love the big sessions you do, and then I love going to race on the biggest stage of our sport. Regardless of the result, it's going to be a heck of an accomplishment for me to get back out there and finish another race in Kona.
Living by his own terms. Pair that with a deep sense of gratitude, and the sky's the limit. The age group athletes are still making their way from the swim to the bike ride. These racers, hailing from 92 different countries and spanning an age from 19 to 82, represent the truly diverse Ironman global community. At 78, Cherie Grunfeld from California is the oldest racer in this year's women's field. She may be targeting yet another age group world title, but she races for much more than personal glory.
I live by this philosophy. We have to age, but we don't have to get old. And to me, getting old is kind of synonymous with slowing down and stopping moving. In October of 1992, I did my first Ironman. Came across the finish line, right into Lee's arms and said, this is it, I'm hooked. You know, Ironman is the perfect sport for me. I thrive on a challenge. In December of 2000, I was invited to an elementary school in San Bernardino, California. San Bernardino is one of the poorest communities in the United States. So I spoke to these kids about setting goals, working hard on these goals, and then accomplishing a goal. And I realized that if someone didn't step in and do something for these kids, they really didn't have a chance to break out of that environment. Our goal is to get every one of these kids graduated from high school and on to college and graduated from some kind of degree, whether it's vocational or four-year college or whatever, so that they can better their lives. It's been going on now for 21 years. We've had great success, just one kid at a time. It's not like it's such a big deal that Cherie is doing it, because we're all doing it. They've learned that that's how we be successful. We set a goal, we work hard, and then we go and execute on that goal. I get plenty of feedback, but I'll tell you, I get more out of this than the kids do.
As she settles in for the long, solitary ride, Cherie is far from alone. The kids she has mentored are right there with her in the spirit of Kulike. Together we accomplish what we cannot achieve on our own. After passing the town of Kauai, just over 50 miles into the bike course, racers are greeted with the biggest climb of the day, the road to Hawi.
Definitely were encouraging each other as we were going past, swapping the lead and stuff. And obviously, when you know you have someone like Daniela Reeve coming from behind, it makes sense to try and prevent her from bringing that time gap down.
Fenella Langridge and Lucy Charles Barkley have formed an alliance of sorts as they take turns leading the pro women's race. A group of four, Jocelyn McCauley, Lisa Norton, Sky Monch, and Chelsea Sidaro are in the hunt.
Having the opportunity to ride in a pack with other women like that gives you a mental edge. I told myself that I was right where I needed to be. I knew that that could make my race.
After the VinFast turnaround in Hawi, the racers will get their first glimpse of how the ride is developing around them. The gaps to the leaders, as well as their chasers. The trio of Lisa Norton, Chelsea Sidaro, and Sky Monch hit the turnaround with just a 3-minute deficit to the front. Two competitors that know a lot about smart pacing on this bike course. The former Ironman world champions Daniela Reeve and Annie Haug. They've been steadily chipping away at their deficit, now just 4 minutes. As for Haug's countrywoman Laura Phillip, a drafting infraction has likely derailed her chances at the world title. The red slash through her race number signifies a 5-minute penalty. On the descent from Hawi, Lucy Charles Barkley knows that Reeve is coming for her lead. She has dropped Haug and overtaken Monch and Sidaro for third position. The scenario is all too familiar for Charles Barkley, who has finished second to Reeve here twice after being caught on the bike. But this is a new year, and after a comeback from injury, a new Lucy Charles Barkley. And you can't count out her countrywoman Fenella Langridge, making an impressive Kona debut thus far. Could this be the year the crown returns to British hands? As the pro men charge toward the Hawi turnaround, Sam Laidlow and Max Newman are pushing the pace at the front. The notorious Kona trade winds have not materialized today, and the cycling conditions are fast. Magnus Ditlev may be a Kona rookie, but the 24-year-old Dane isn't afraid to bike aggressively. He rides away from the 2021 Ironman world champion Christian Blumenfeld in a surge to catch Laidlow as the Norwegian tries to hang on. And then, seeing double at the front, it's Ditlev and Laidlow together. Max Newman is still right there, as is Gustav Iden. But Sam Laidlow knows that Ditlev and the others no doubt burned some matches trying to catch him. He retakes the lead as they enter the town of Hawi. And he is first to hit the VinFast turnaround. Laidlow can see Ditlev is just seconds back, followed by Newman and the two Norwegians. They have dropped Timothy O'Donnell, who now trails by just over 2 minutes. On the way out of Hawi, the racers pass the special needs aid station, where they can grab the essential nutrition they've stored for this stage in the race. Magnus Ditlev is sidelined, waiting for his bag, as Max Newman and Christian Blumenfeld seize the opportunity to distance themselves from the Dane. The descent from Hawi may be fast, but it is by no means a place of rest. This is where the more technical cyclists can gain ground, and it is here that Sam Laidlow makes his move.
I just kept on pedaling at my wattage and started getting away, and then when I realised that it kind of grew to a minute 30, I was like, well, let's make the most of this.
During his effort to bridge back up to the front, Magnus Ditlev has received a drafting penalty, a major development that he shares with the group. The news that Ditlev must stand down for 5 minutes could significantly change the dynamic at the front of this race. The competitors who plan to rely on him as an asset must now reconsider their tactics. With these players in the mix, and many miles still remaining on the Queen K, it is any man's race. The age group athletes are tackling the early miles of the Queen Kaahumanu Highway. Rugged lava fields stretch out in every direction as far as the eye can see. The Kona bike course inspires awe and humility. Chris Nikic is about to face the toughest part of his day. Chris has 17 hours to complete this course, and the 112-mile ride presents the biggest threat to realizing his Kona finish line. The clock is ticking. Beth James races Ironman with her daughter Liza, who suffered a severe brain injury, to give her daughter a full life enriched by athletics. They started this race in 2019, but did not make the bike cutoff. Team Liza is back with some unfinished business. Australian Lauren Parker was preparing for her first Ironman World Championship as a professional back in 2017 when she sustained a spinal cord injury. Just a few years later, she won Olympic silver in the Paralympic Games and keeps showing the world the power of a relentless work ethic, self-belief, and a positive attitude. Every single racer has overcome their own challenges just to make it to today's start line. This is more than a race. It is a testament to the tenacity and resilience of the human spirit.
Malama is to cherish and protect the reefs, the fish, the birds, the winds, and the land. Giving back, that's something that lasts generations.
Learn how you can Malama Hawaii at gohawaii.com/malama.
Daniela Ryf has tracked down all the other women to take control of this race. With just 5 miles to go in the 112-mile ride, there is a new women's leader. But this time, Lucy Charles Barclay isn't going to surrender.
I remember when she's overtaken me in years prior and I'd be like, well, hell no, I cannot go with that. Whereas this year I was like, no, I can ride with that, definitely.
Langridge, Norden, and Sidaro are also not letting Ryf get away entirely. The battle between the bold rookies and seasoned veterans is about to reach a new level. With the fastest ride of the day, Daniela Ryf is the first into transition. But Lucy Charles Barclay is only 17 seconds back. And a minute behind her, Fenella Langridge. Determined to rewrite the script of her Kona rivalry with Ryf, Charles Barclay immediately pushes past Ryf to retake the lead. Lisa Norden enters transition 3 minutes from the front and trailed closely by Chelsea Sidaro. And then Annie Haug arrives. It has been an exceptional ride for the Kona defending champion, and we know she has the run speed to back it up. As the women head out onto the 26.2-mile Hoka Marathon course, they are getting important feedback with their first steps. Did I overdo it on the bike? Have I left enough in the tank for the run? The early miles along Ali'i Drive are about to reveal those answers. Chelsea Sidaro isn't showing any signs of vulnerability as she moves past the 5-time world champion and into second place.
I didn't realize how much energy there would be on Ali'i Drive. And so I was running at times 10 to 20 seconds faster per kilometer than I had planned during that first 10K. And my heart rate was a little bit higher than I would have liked it to be, but I just felt so good.
But with only one Ironman finish to date, Chelsea Sidaro is perhaps the true dark horse. 18 months ago, the 4-time Ironman 70.3 champion earned what she considers her most important title yet. Mom.
Go mama. Go mama, that's right. Go mama. Go Sky. Go Sky, are you so fast? You're fast, I know, you're so fast. I grew up riding a bike just to get around town. My parents are super active people. They were actually serious amateur triathletes. I ran cross country and track. I quit after a season because the pressure and expectations became really overwhelming for me. But I rejoined the cross country team as a freshman in high school, and I just kind of got addicted to the process of getting fast. It's all about having those little carrots ahead of you, those like moments where you kind of glimpse your potential and what is possible. I was 4th at 70.3 Worlds in 2019.
Here we have our 4th place finisher, Chelsea Sidaro. We knew we'd see her surge through on the run.
Came so close, 3 minutes behind 3rd. That is a very respectable finish. Write down her name.
That kind of opened my eyes up to what could be possible for me. As many of us do, I just got totally obsessed. And then the pandemic hit and I got pregnant, and my return to racing from pregnancy was the most rewarding journey, but also the most challenging thing I've ever done in my life. You just learn how strong you are when you're a new mom. Things don't have to go perfectly to get it done. That has really actually freed me up to not put so much pressure on myself. I don't think that things have to go perfectly for me to perform. I'm grateful to get to the start line because I have to fight so hard to show up. I haven't had a perfect build-up for any races since I had my daughter, and I think life happens. No one ever has perfect build-ups to a race, but I don't have that expectation anymore because I know that it's not realistic. My main goal is just to execute my best swim, bike, run. I don't know where that will put me, but if I can have my own best personal performance, I'll be really proud of that. I think that I can be contending at the front end of the race, but I don't quite know what that will look like.
It has been 26 years since an American woman has stood on the top step of the Kona podium. Sodaro will do everything in her power to break that dry spell today. In the pro men's race on day 2, France's Sam Laidlow is advancing his assault at the front of the bike course. His gap to the Norwegians, Magnus Ditlev, and Max Newman continues to grow. At 100 miles, it's now 5 minutes. At the 2021 Ironman World Championship, they watched him ride to the front and then fade on the run and finish 8th.
Even though Sam was up front, we didn't really take him too seriously.
But coming into transition, Laidlow has managed not only to maintain his lead, but grow it even further.
To put in 6 minutes on the return from Harvey, that's insane, because we were riding pretty fast as well, but he was just smashing us.
After posting a race best bike split of 4 hours, 4 minutes, Laidlow is first out onto the Hoka Marathon course, with no one else in sight. Next to arrive the trio of Gustav Iden, Christian Blumenfeld, and Max Newman. They waste no time in transition in their efforts to start chipping away at the 6-minute gap to Laidlow. Cameron Worth, Leon Chevalier, Sebastian Kinley, and Timothy O'Donnell are within seconds of each other. But they are more than 8 minutes down. On the short out and back along Ali'i Drive, Sam Laidlow still leads. Blumenfeld, Eden, and Newman are right there. They've already taken a minute out of his lead 5 minutes into the run.
See that thing John Morant has? That's a hypervolt. That thing he uses to warm up and stay loose before he throws it down. That thing Tony Finau uses on course between shots. Ooh, that's money. That thing Robin and I use before and after we're on the bike so we can ride harder tomorrow. That thing Erlen Holland uses before smashing it into the back of the net. That thing that's for everyone. The Hypervolt from Hyper Ice. Give your body the daily relief it's been asking for.
Malama is to cherish and protect the reefs, the fish, the birds, the winds, and the land. Giving back, that's something that lasts generations.
Learn how you can Malama Hawaii at gohawaii.com/malama.
Since the very beginning, for over 40 years, there has been no hiding from the ferocity of this Kona bike course. It has crushed the race day dreams of many an athlete and stripped countless racers to their very core. While the pros are tackling the marathon course, the age group athletes are wrestling their own demons. This is when they must dig deep to silence the doubt, the discomfort, the can't. Chris Nikic has conquered the climb to Hawi. He has already come farther than most expected, but his work is far from done. And Lauren Parker pushes ever onward. This isn't just her Kona comeback. She's here to take down the women's hand cycle course record. Each of the 5,000 athletes racing here has their own reason for tackling the VinFast Ironman World Championship. They will need to summon their purpose time and again until they reach this storied finish line. Back in the pro women's race, Chelsea Sodaro overtakes Lucy Charles Barclay to become the new leader.
When Chelsea actually caught me on Polani, I was like, well, she's taken the lead now, but she could blow up. This is Kona. I guess my mind didn't go spiraling into negativity. It was like, you're doing really well, you feel good, stay positive, anything can happen.
The racers once again face a long, exposed stretch of the Queen Kaahumanu Highway before heading into the Natural Energy Lab, the hottest, most desolate part of the run course and the turnaround point. Annie Haug is the big mover in the field. After passing Lisa Norton, she overtakes Daniela Reef and then Fenella Langridge. Her next target is Lucy Charles Barclay, who is just a couple of minutes ahead as they close in on the halfway point of the run. Chelsea Sodaro and Annie Haug may be the two strongest runners in the field, but Lucy Charles Barclay isn't going down without a fight. The Norwegians have been working together for the first 6 miles of the Hoka Marathon course, taking turns blocking the wind and setting the pace. As training partners since their junior elite days, they are closely in sync and use one another to push themselves harder than they could go alone. Together, they have cut Sam Laidlow's lead from the start of the run in half. He is now just 3 minutes ahead.
So I was more like just trying to be holding back until the energy lab and hoping that Sam would just fall apart.
They may be training partners and childhood best friends, but today they are also fierce rivals. There can only be one world champion. Holding steady in fourth, about 30 seconds behind the Norwegians, is Australian Max Newman. As the men prepare to enter the Natural Energy Lab, they know that the pressure and the heat is only going to intensify.
And they may well ask, why climb the highest mountain? We choose to do things not because they are easy, but because they are hard. Because that goal will serve to organize and measure the best of our energies and skills. Because that challenge is one that we're willing to accept, one we are unwilling to postpone, and one we intend to win.
virtual energy lab, where Ironman world titles have been won and lost. At 15 miles into the marathon, racers face this tough out and back section through lava fields at the hottest time of the day. It's pushing 90 degrees Fahrenheit.
The energy lab is the point where a race can change.
Chelsea Sodaro is still in command at the front of the women's race. She may be a rookie on this course, but she knows how pivotal this section is in making or breaking an athlete's race day.
I was really aware that I could start overheating down there at any moment. I could fall apart. I don't think the race in Kona starts until you come out of the energy lab.
Sodaro is running on adrenaline. She's moving faster than anyone in the field. 6 minutes, 20 seconds per mile. Lucy Charles Barclay can feel the familiar approach of Annie Haug.
Back in 2019 when we were last here, it was Annie Haug who overtook me in the energy lab to take the win, and I was second. It felt a little bit like deja vu when she was coming up and she was closing the gap.
With 6 miles to go, Charles Barclay's gap to Haug is only 25 seconds. Behind Haug, Laura Philipp is more than 7 minutes down, followed by Norden and Langridge. Daniela Rief has faded to 6th, now 20 minutes from the front. Men's leader Sam Laidlow is doing the math. He knows the Norwegians are running faster, but will there be enough real estate for them to catch him?
When I saw the Norwegians, I actually didn't look at my watch deliberately. I saw when we crossed, they both looked at their watch, and I was taking splits. There was a 6-minute difference into T2, and it was like literally 3 minutes at the halfway marathon mark. It was going to come down to the line. I thought that that might just get me the win.
After the turnaround at the energy lab, Laidlow can see that not only the Norwegians are coming, but also Max Newman, as well as other fast runners. The former world champion Sebastian Kienle has been locked stride for stride with Magnus Ditlev as they battle over 5th place. The 38-year-old is going all in with his final bid at the Ironman World Championship.
Nobody has more experience than you guys, come on!
Fighting words from his wife, Marinda Carfrae, the 3-time Ironman World Champion. After suffering a major heart attack 14 months ago, Timothy O'Donnell considers this year's race a victory lap. But he isn't here just participating. O'Donnell is right there in the top 10. The final stretch of the marathon is a reminder of what makes this course worthy of the World Championship. It is unrelenting in every possible way. The body will only take you so far. Now, it's all about the mental game. Gustav Iden knows it's now or never. If he wants any chance at the win, he needs to make his move. The 2021 Ironman World Champion Blumenfeld can't match Eden's pace. As Eden pulls away, the race focus narrows to 2 front runners. Will Laidlow's gamble on the bike pay off? Or did Eden play this perfectly?
Our world is full of moments. Moments that inspire, fulfill, and shape our lives. Activities manifest through experiences, adventures, knowledge, and everlasting connections. Together, we make this world a more active place.
The VinFast Ironman World Championship finish line. It is without compare. Over the past 4 decades, countless dreams have been realized right here. Running the final stretch down Ali'i Drive, Chelsea Sodaro can finally allow herself to celebrate this monumental Kona debut.
Chelsea Sodaro! You are an Ironman World Champion!
I can't tell you how many people said, do it for Sky, do it for the moms.
Chelsea Sodaro is the 2022 VinFast Ironman World Champion in 8 hours, 33 minutes. Lucy Charles Barclay claims another runner-up finish in Kona. A gratifying and impressive performance on her comeback from major injury. And Annie Haug captures third, hanging tough in the last miles to return to the Kona podium. In fourth, a resilient Laura Philipp of Germany. And Swede Lisa Norden holds on for a top 5 finish. After 3 years away from the Big Island, the celebration is sweet. Third place for Germany's Annie Haug, second for Lucy Charles Barclay of Great Britain, and a new world champion is crowned. American Chelsea Sodaro. The 5-time Ironman world champion Daniela Ryf finishes in 8th. Not the day she'd envisioned, but a gracious competitor nonetheless. In the men's race, the leaders are on the final stretch. With just 4 miles remaining in their 140.6-mile battle. Today's performance by the Frenchman has been an irrefutable statement. Sam Laidlow has arrived. But Gustav Iden has made a stellar Kona debut of his own. He has closed Laidlow's 6-minute lead at the start of the marathon to just seconds. Laidlow's childhood dream of winning this race has been so close in reach. But after more than 7 hours of racing, Iden is now right on his shoulder. He has a few words for Laidlow. I'm proud of you. An exchange of true sportsmanship. For the first time today, Gustav Iden is the leader.
After I passed him, I realized that now I was actually leading. It was no one to hunt anymore. From there on, it was so much harder. It was a fight to get to the finish line.
Iden hangs on to the lead, soaking up the scene as he hits the red carpet.
This was the most emotional victory I ever had. To see the finish line, to hear Mike there, and it was really magical.
From Norway, Gustav Iden!
And at that point, I kind of understand the iconic place that Kona is.
Another Kona rookie is crowned Ironman World Champion as Gustav Iden takes the title for Norway in 7 hours, 40 minutes on new course record. Sam Laidlow crosses in second, 2 minutes after Iden.
A heart to the crowd
A valiant fight by a bright young talent. And in third, Christian Blumenfeld. He has given every ounce of his heart and soul to this race course today. Next is Australian Max Newman with a breakthrough fourth place finish. And Joe Skipper from Great Britain captures fifth. It is a European sweep in the pro men's race. Norway's Christian Blumenfeld, runner-up Sam Laidlow of France, and the new Ironman world champion, Gustav Iden. Former world champion Sebastian Kienle crosses the finish in sixth, setting a new personal best time on this course. It is a farewell performance befitting a true titan of the sport. And Timothy O'Donnell finishes 13th as the top American at 42 years old. His road back to Kona a victory in its own right.
See that thing John Morant has? That's a hypervolt. That thing he uses to warm up and stay loose before he throws it down. That thing Tony Finau uses on course between shots. Ooh, that's money. That thing Robin and I use before and after we're on the bike so we can ride harder tomorrow. That thing Erlen Haaland uses before smashing it into the back of the net. That thing that's for everyone. The Hypervolt from Hyper Ice. Give your body the daily relief it's been asking for.
Malama is to cherish and protect the reefs, the fish, the birds, the winds, and the land. Giving back, that's something that lasts generations.
Learn how you can Malama Hawaii at gohawaii.com/malama.
Since 1997, we have imagined the exceptional. From our very first flight to opening the world's best airport, Hamad International Airport, to delivering unforgettable experiences on board. You're the reason we go above and beyond. The reason we've become the world's best airline a record 6 times. All this in just 25 years. Imagine what the next 25 will bring. Qatar Airways, 25 years of excellence.
The 2022 VinFast Ironman World Championship is brought to you by VinFast, Boundless Together, Gatorade Endurance, formulated for farther, Super Sapiens, no more guessing games on nutrition, and Active, powering the world's events and activities. With the pro race decided, the stage now belongs to the amateur athletes. In Kona, challenge and reward come in equal measure. And now it is time to soak up this truly life-defining achievement. One that is theirs forever. The promise of this feeling is what drives the hundreds of athletes still out on the course with a long, hard road remaining. They are not alone in their fight, though. Thousands of volunteers rally them forward. Among them, the 3-time Ironman world champion Jan Frodeno. An injury prevented him from competing, but not from turning up in Kona in support of all the racers. The amateur athletes have been racing since sunrise, and now it's time to conquer the 26.2-mile Hoka Marathon course. This deep into race day, every step demands a decision. Give in or fight on. Racer number 1188, Sebastian Bellin, embodies a commitment to relentless forward motion. After the terrorist bombing at the Brussels airport in 2016 nearly claimed his life, the former professional basketball player relearned to walk, then run. And now with the support of his coach, two-time Ironman world champion and fellow Belgian Luc van Lierde, Bellen wants to show his young daughters what it means to be a survivor.
He seems really good. He's got a good pace. He's not going too fast.
It's been a gift to be able to rebuild your body and your mind and to see life from a new perspective. Not many people get a second chance at life. You know, my mind and my body have been through a lot worse, but you just don't know 100% whether my body will pull through. The starting point is already a great achievement in my mind, but I want to get to the finish line.
Another athlete laser focused on today's finish line, Cherie Groeneveld, still has a long road ahead. She is ticking off the miles, and with each one showing the youth she mentors back home that big goals are in reach for them too. And Lauren Parker, where there is a will, there is a way. In 2015, before her spinal cord injury, she finished second in her age group here. And now she's back on the big island of Hawaii with the same athletic fire and indomitable spirit. As the sun sets over Kailua Kona, the inner battle is about to reach new heights. The advancing darkness adds a new dimension of psychological challenge. The miles feel longer, lonelier. This is where you really start to explore the edges of personal potential. Sam Holness from Great Britain says that autism is his superpower. The Ironman World Championship is part of his journey to inspire others to adopt his no-limits mindset. In his quest to become the first openly autistic person to conquer Kona, he is facing an entirely new set of challenges. Team Liza has made the bike course cutoff, but the race against the clock continues as Beth pushes her daughter through the miles. They've targeted the hardest single-day endurance event in the world to amplify the importance of providing every person the opportunity for an athletic life. And Chris Nikic forges ahead on a mission to change perceptions and challenge others to believe that they too are capable of so much more. His approach of striving each day to make small incremental gains, an approach he calls 1% better, has helped him achieve goals deemed unattainable for someone with Down syndrome. He has come a long way since the Ironman Florida finish line. But Kona is his most ambitious goal yet. The real test of fortitude is only beginning. While the pro race was decided hours ago, hundreds of amateur athletes are still fighting their way to the finish line. Each racer must complete this course in under 17 hours to be considered an official finisher. For a number of them, it will come down to the wire. In the darkness, this section leading out to the energy lab and back can feel especially stark and disorienting. Here, focus is forced inward, and progress is measured in single steps, not miles. The moon is the only beacon in this sea of black.
Good job. Little break. What? All right, here we go. Oh, buddy. I know the pain is there. You're gonna get there today, okay? Remember the last time we did this, it was hard too? Remember it was hard? And you pushed through? And you told the stories to everybody about how you pushed through? This is like that time, okay? Come on, let's show them what you can do. Come on, 3 more cones, that's all. Ready? Come on, go. Yep, let's go.
And then the promise becomes real. The determination, resilience, and belief have all led here. The finish line of the 2022 VinFast Ironman World Championship. This moment is more than a celebration of athletic achievement. It is a realization of true potential. Whether first across this line or last, each finisher is met with a new reality on the other side. A clearer picture of who they are and what they can achieve. Giving it everything to make it across the finish line, Lauren Parker smashes the course record in the women's hand cycle division by more than 2 hours. A triumphant return to a race that has meant so much. Proving that autism is his superpower, not his disability, Sam Holness conquers the Ironman World Championship in just over 13 hours. His message is loud and clear. Let nothing stand in the way of your dreams. With his hard-fought finish, Brussels bombing survivor Sebastian Bellin hopes to show others what is possible when you search for the light in even the darkest hour. Team Liza becomes the first mother-daughter team to complete the Ironman World Championship. A legacy of inclusivity is carried forward with this remarkable milestone. Battling through severe back cramps, Cherie Grunfeld captures her 14th age group world title at 78. For the last time, the voice of Ironman Mike Riley welcomes her across this finish line. And with 30 minutes to spare before the 17-hour cutoff, Chris Nikic is the first person with Down syndrome to attempt and finish this race. The coming days will reveal just what this groundbreaking achievement means for others with Down syndrome. The impact one person can have in changing perceptions. The final finishers close out this year's World Championship. The spirit of Kulike burns brighter than ever. Together we can accomplish what we cannot achieve alone.
No matter what goes on in our lives or what goes on in the world, when we get together, the world is right. And always know you are an